Hey Cowboys fans, we got some big news today that you're definitely going to want to hear. First off, let's talk about Cooper Beebe. Unfortunately, the reports coming in are not great. He's dealing with a high ankle sprain and is expected to be out for somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks. Now, I know that's rough, especially early in the season, but there's a silver lining here. With Beebe heading to injured reserve, it opens up space on the roster for Jadeveon Clowney without the team needing to release anyone else. There's a possibility that he could come back closer to 6 weeks rather than the full 8, so hopefully that timeline is a bit shorter. In the meantime, Brock Hoffman is stepping in at center. He had his first action of the season recently, and while there was a little bobbled snap, overall he handled himself well and should settle into the role as the team adjusts. The Cowboys will likely make some additional roster moves as the season unfolds. But for now, the main takeaway is that Beebe will be out and the team will adjust around him. Moving on to the last game against the Giants. What a roller coaster that was. From start to finish, it felt like the lead was constantly changing hands. You had the Giants driving down the field with no timeouts, only seconds remaining, and they still managed to score a touchdown to take the lead. Then the Cowboys, with their timeouts intact, marched down the field and set up Brandon Aubrey for a 64-yard field goal to force overtime. And overtime itself was wild. Both teams seemed hesitant at first, but the Cowboys got the ball back and Aubrey delivered again. This time, a 46-yard game-winning kick as time expired. It was one of those games that reminded you why football is so unpredictable and why the Cowboys always seem to provide drama until the very end. Offensively, the Cowboys have actually looked solid through the first 2 games. There's still some areas to monitor, like turnovers and mistakes, but overall, the offense has shown flashes of being really effective. CeeDee Lamb bounced back in a big way, catching 9 out of 11 targets and surpassing 100 yards again. Jake Ferguson contributed crucial catches at key moments. And Javonte Williams nearly hit a 100 rushing yards with over 5 yards per carry. Even with injuries to key players like Kevontae Turpin and Cooper Beebe, the offense has managed to stay competitive and keep the Cowboys in the game, which is encouraging. It's still early, so it's a bit of a wait-and-see situation. But right now the offense deserves some credit for maintaining consistency and creating opportunities even under pressure. Defensively, however, there are concerns that can't be ignored. The secondary struggled mightily against the Giants, giving up big plays and yardage in ways that left fans frustrated. Russell Wilson carved up the coverage for a career-high 450 passing yards, and multiple defenders allowed key plays that shifted the momentum of the game. Trayvon Diggs, Malik Hooker, and Kyler Elam all had tough matchups and gave up significant yardage. Donovan Wilson redeemed himself slightly with an interception in overtime, but overall the secondary looked shaky. If the Cowboys want to make a real playoff push, the secondary needs to tighten up. It's clear that the team's front 7 is helping on the line, but without consistent coverage behind them, the defense will continue to face challenges. On a brighter note, adding Kenny Clark to the defensive line has been a noticeable improvement. Compared to previous seasons where Mazi Smith struggled to make an impact, Clark has stepped in and reinforced the interior of the line. Limiting rushing yards against top running backs and helping contain the ground game has been critical for the Cowboys. Clark's presence not only strengthens the defensive tackle position, but also gives the rest of the defense more flexibility to focus on pass coverage. The impact of having a strong, reliable interior lineman cannot be understated, and it has helped the Cowboys stay competitive in both games so far this season. And then there's Brandon Aubrey. I know we've been talking about him a lot, but he continues to be remarkable. The guy is not just a reliable kicker, he seems almost untouchable. His range, accuracy, and composure under pressure make him one of the best in the league, if not the best. From long field goals to clutch kicks in overtime, he consistently delivers when it matters most. Watching him line up for a game-winning kick feels like watching a master at work. There's confidence and calmness in every motion. For the Cowboys, having a kicker like Aubrey is a huge advantage. He can take pressure off the offense and provide a safety net when games come down to the wire, which we saw in dramatic fashion against the Giants. Looking ahead, the schedule doesn't look as daunting as some might expect. After these first couple of games, it seems entirely possible that the Cowboys could win 4 out of their next 5 matchups. Teams like the Bears, Jets, and Panthers are certainly winnable games. And even the home games against tougher opponents could swing in Dallas's favor with strong execution. If the offense continues to click, the defense stabilizes, and the special teams maintain their high level of play, the Cowboys could set themselves up for a strong early season record. This stretch could be critical in building momentum and confidence. And right now, there are reasons to be optimistic even with some of the injuries and defensive struggles that need to be addressed. Overall, the Cowboys are a team in transition, balancing injuries, roster moves, and high expectations. The offense has shown flashes of brilliance. The defensive line is holding strong and Brandon Aubrey continues to be a reliable presence in clutch situations. At the same time, the secondary struggles highlight the areas that require immediate attention. With Cooper Beebe on injured reserve, the team will need to adapt, but there are capable players stepping in to fill the gaps. The next few weeks will be critical in determining whether the Cowboys can maintain consistency, capitalize on winnable matchups, and address their defensive weaknesses. The story of this season is still unfolding, but there's no doubt that fans will be watching closely, especially with the kind of excitement, drama, and high-stakes moments that have defined the first two games. As we move deeper into the season, the Cowboys are showing both promise and areas of concern. And it's fascinating to break down how each side of the ball is shaping up. Offensively, there's a rhythm starting to form, even amidst the injuries that have challenged the lineup. Dak Prescott has shown moments of brilliance, threading the needle on deep passes and keeping defenses honest with his ability to extend plays. While the interception in the Giants game was a setback, it's part of the learning curve for any quarterback trying to find timing with receivers who may be filling in due to injuries. CeeDee Lamb has continued to emerge as a reliable target, making contested catches and consistently creating separation. The combination of Lamb, Ferguson, and George Pickens has given the Cowboys multiple options in the passing game, and the running attack with Javonte Williams provides balance that keeps opposing defenses guessing. Even with Cooper Beebe sidelined, the offensive line has adapted and Brock Hoffman's presence at center has been steadier than expected, helping maintain continuity in protection schemes. However, the injuries remain a challenge, particularly with Kevontae Turpin's uncertain status. Losing playmakers in the passing game can slow momentum, and the Cowboys will need to rely on depth and creativity in play calling to continue generating explosive plays. Despite that, the team's offensive scheme has shown flexibility. They're able to lean on their strengths using short, quick passes, play action, and well-timed runs to exploit mismatches. It's still early in the season, but the offense's ability to stay competitive, even with some gaps in the lineup, demonstrates resilience and adaptability, which are vital for sustaining success across a long NFL season. The secondary, though, remains a glaring concern. After giving up significant yardage to the Giants, it's clear that adjustments are needed. Russell Wilson's career-high passing performance highlighted gaps in coverage and communication that opponents will continue to exploit if not addressed. Malik Hooker, Trayvon Diggs, and Kyler Elam all faced challenges with big plays slipping through despite their effort. Donovan Wilson's overtime interception was a bright spot, but the defense cannot rely on moments of individual brilliance to make up for systemic weaknesses. The Cowboys need to tighten coverage, anticipate route combinations, and maintain better positioning, especially against quarterbacks who are capable of dissecting zones and finding windows in man coverage. The good news is that the front seven continues to create pressure which can mask some secondary deficiencies, but the secondary's performance will ultimately dictate how deep the Cowboys can go in critical games. On the defensive line, Kenny Clark's addition has proven to be a game-changer. His presence inside allows the defensive front to collapse the pocket and disrupt both passing and running plays. By anchoring the middle, Clark helps contain powerful runners and limits the effectiveness of opposing offenses. His consistency has allowed other defenders to play more aggressively, knowing that the interior is solid. It's one of those moves that doesn't always show up on the highlight reel, but has an enormous impact on the overall performance of the defense. The Cowboys are beginning to see the benefits of a strengthened line, and it's likely that Clark will continue to be a stabilizing force as the season progresses. Special teams remain an area of dominance, largely because of Brandon Aubrey. His performance has been nothing short of remarkable, turning potentially tense moments into nearly automatic points. Long field goals, pressure kicks, and clutch overtime situations have all highlighted his reliability. Having a kicker of his caliber changes the dynamic for the entire team, giving the offense more confidence in their drives and allowing the defense to play with the security that scoring opportunities are maximized. Aubrey's consistency may not grab as many headlines as a quarterback or a star receiver, but his contributions are critical and often game-defining. The Cowboys' special teams advantage, combined with their offensive and defensive capabilities, makes them a team that can win in multiple ways if everything clicks at the right time. Looking ahead at the schedule, There are winnable matchups that could build momentum if executed properly. Games against teams like the Bears, Jets, and Panthers present opportunities to capitalize on both home field advantage and the Cowboys' depth. The key will be maintaining consistency across offense, defense, and special teams while minimizing errors and turnovers. A strong stretch of wins could put Dallas in a favorable position early, giving them breathing room for tougher matchups later in the season. Even games that seem more challenging, like those against the Packers or the Commanders, could swing in their favor if they maintain discipline, limit mistakes, and maximize explosive plays. The Cowboys' ability to adjust on the fly, adapt to injuries, and leverage their strengths will define their success over the next several weeks. In terms of overreactions, it's tempting to get excited about the offense's success and Aubrey's brilliance, but the defensive struggles cannot be ignored. The secondary's issues, if unaddressed, could become a recurring theme, allowing opposing teams to exploit weaknesses late in games. Yet, there are reasons for optimism. The offensive line has been more consistent than many expected. The running game is contributing at a high level, and receivers like CeeDee Lamb are performing at elite standards. Additionally, the defensive line's improvement with Kenny Clark provides hope that interior pressure will continue to disrupt opponents. If the Cowboys can balance these elements and make necessary adjustments in coverage, they have the potential to be a formidable team over the long haul. Ultimately, this season for the Cowboys is shaping up to be a mixture of highs and lows. The offense is proving capable of keeping pace with strong opponents. Special teams are delivering in clutch moments, and certain defensive upgrades are showing real impact. At the same time, injuries and secondary deficiencies present ongoing challenges. The next stretch of games will be critical for setting the tone, building confidence, and proving whether the Cowboys can consistently perform at a high level. Fans should remain engaged because each matchup offers both the potential for dramatic moments and the opportunity to see how the team adapts to adversity. The story is still unfolding, and with a level of talent on both sides of the ball. Every week promises excitement, unpredictability, and moments that could define the trajectory of the season. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The Dallas Cowboys are stirring the NFL rumor mill once again, and this time, the whispers are deafening. Sources close to the team hint that the Cowboys are on the verge of a blockbuster move, signing none other than defensive juggernaut Aaron Donald. If true, this would mark a seismic shift in Dallas' defensive outlook and could instantly resurrect a pass rush that has long been the subject of frustration for fans and analysts alike. Donald, a perennial All-Pro and three-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, is widely regarded as one of the most dominant forces on the defensive line in the modern era. The thought of him suiting up in navy, silver, and white has ignited feverish speculation across social media, with fans imagining a front for that could terrorize quarterbacks week in and week out. Insiders suggest that the Cowboys see Donald not just as a player, but as a transformative figure who could instantly elevate a defense that has struggled to consistently pressure opposing QBs. While nothing has been officially announced, the buzz is impossible to ignore. Rumors indicate that negotiations have been intense but promising, with Dallas prepared to go all in to secure the defensive titan. The mere possibility of Donald joining forces with Micah Parsons has analysts dreaming about a nightmare scenario for opposing offenses. Two elite pass rushers wreaking havoc on every snap. Critics might argue about cap space and long-term logistics, but the Cowboys brass appears willing to make bold moves to shake the NFL hierarchy. In a league where momentum can shift in a single offseason, adding a player of Donald's caliber would signal that Dallas is serious about reclaiming its identity as a defensive powerhouse. For now, fans can only speculate, but the chatter is relentless. Could Aaron Donald be the missing piece that finally transforms the Cowboys' pass rush into the feared force it once aspired to be? One thing is certain: if this rumor turns out to be true, the NFC East just got a lot more intimidating. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next